Every year, hundreds of thousands of South Africans apply for jobs, and many walk out of interviews believing they simply weren't good enough. Some spend weeks perfecting their CV. Some have the qualifications. Some have the experience. Some have degrees. Some have learnerships. Some answer every question correctly. Yet, they still receive the same email. We've decided to move forward with another candidate. Why? Was someone smarter? More talented? More qualified? Sometimes, but surprisingly often, no. Because interviews were never designed to find the best person. They were designed to find the person who feels like the safest decision. And those are two very different things. The interview system is broken. Here's how to beat it. Imagine this. You spend hours perfecting your CV. You research the company. You practice answers in the mirror. You iron your clothes. You arrive early. The interview begins. The questions feel familiar. You leave thinking, that actually went quite well. Then 2 days later, an email arrives. Unfortunately, that's it. No explanation, no feedback, just another rejection. Eventually, you begin asking yourself questions that become harder and harder to answer. Maybe I'm just bad at interviews. Maybe I'm not confident enough. Maybe I'm not good enough. But what if those aren't the right questions? Most interview advice sounds something like this. Just be confident. Sell yourself. Be yourself. Smile more. Make eye contact. None of that is completely wrong, but none of it explains why two people can give almost identical answers and only one gets the job. Because confidence isn't what employers hire. Extraversion isn't what employers hire. Perfect answers aren't even what employers hire. So what are they actually looking for? To answer that, you first have to understand something most job seekers never realize. This sounds strange because interviews feel incredibly personal. Someone is asking about your life, your experience, your strengths, your weaknesses. It feels like they're trying to decide whether you are good enough. But from the employer's perspective, the interview isn't really about you. It's about a problem they need solved. Every hire is a risk. A wrong hire costs time, money, training, productivity, sometimes even team morale. So while candidates think, how do I prove I'm amazing? Employers are quietly asking a completely different question. How confident am I that this person will succeed here? That single question changes everything, because suddenly, the interview isn't a test of perfection. It's a process of reducing uncertainty. And once you understand that, you stop trying to impress and start giving employers reasons to believe. Imagine you're choosing between two bridges. One bridge looks beautiful, fresh paint, modern design. The other bridge looks older, less impressive. But engineers have shown you years of evidence that it safely carried thousands of vehicles every single day. Which bridge would you drive across? Almost everyone chooses the second bridge, not because it's perfect, but because there's evidence it can do the job. Employers think exactly the same way. They aren't trying to predict perfection, they're trying to reduce uncertainty. And that's why the interview system feels broken, because most candidates spend the entire interview describing themselves, while the strongest candidates spend it reducing risk. Those sound similar. They're not. They're worlds apart. If employers aren't looking for perfection, what are they looking for? Imagine you've just interviewed 5 candidates. All of them have similar qualifications, similar experience, similar interview answers. On paper, they're almost impossible to separate. So how do you choose? Most candidates imagine employers have some invisible checklist: confidence, communication, leadership, passion. Those things matter, but underneath all of them, there's something even more important. Every answer you give, every story you tell, every example you choose is quietly answering one question. How risky would it be to hire this person? Most people never realize they're not being interviewed, they're being assessed for risk. Imagine two candidates. Both are asked exactly the same question. Tell me about a time you solved a difficult problem. Candidate A says, I'm a great problem solver. I work well under pressure. People always tell me I'm calm. I'm determined and hardworking. Sounds good. Nothing wrong with that. Then candidate B answers, during my internship, our reporting system stopped working the morning before a client meeting. I volunteered to rebuild the dashboard using the backup data. We delivered the presentation on time and the client renewed their contract. Who's more impressive? Not necessarily the smarter person. The second candidate simply gave the employer something far more valuable: evidence. This is one of the biggest mistakes job seekers make. They describe themselves instead of proving themselves. I'm organized, I'm reliable, I'm a quick learner. Those are claims, and claims are cheap. Anyone can make them. Evidence is different. Evidence is specific. Evidence has context. Evidence reduces uncertainty. That's why employers love stories, not because stories are entertaining, because stories are evidence. A real example is far more convincing than 10 adjectives. While you're answering questions, the interviewer is doing something you can't see. They're constantly updating a picture in their mind. Could this person handle an unhappy customer? Could they work with this team? Would I trust them with an important project? What happens if I leave them unsupervised? Every answer either adds confidence or creates uncertainty. That's why two candidates can say almost the same thing, yet leave completely different impressions. One creates certainty, the other leaves questions unanswered. Think about some of the most common interview questions. Tell me about yourself. It isn't really asking for your life story, it's asking, can you organize information clearly? What's your biggest weakness? It's rarely about your weakness, it's asking, are you self-aware? Tell me about a challenge. It's asking, how do you respond when things don't go according to plan? Every interview question has another question hiding underneath it. And once you start listening for the hidden question, your answers change completely. You stop answering the words, you start answering the concern behind the words. This is the moment everything changes. Instead of asking yourself, how can I impress them? Start asking, what uncertainty does this answer remove? If they worry about experience, show evidence you can learn quickly. If they worry about teamwork, show a time you helped a team succeed. If they worry about responsibility, show when someone trusted you with something important. Because employers don't need certainty, they know that's impossible. They're simply looking for enough evidence to believe you're likely to succeed. And the candidates who understand that walk into interviews playing an entirely different game. There's one more thing you need to remember. Finding a job in South Africa isn't easy. You might send out hundreds of applications, hear nothing for months, or compete against hundreds of other qualified people for a single opportunity. Sometimes the reason you weren't hired has nothing to do with your ability. The job market is competitive, the economy is challenging, and some things are simply outside your control. But what is inside your control is the evidence you build. Every project, every volunteer opportunity, every new skill, every interview, every conversation, every rejection can become another piece of evidence that makes the next employer more confident in choosing you. Because every application isn't just another chance to get hired, it's another chance to become easier to hire. The interview system isn't perfect. It probably never will be. But once you understand how employers think, you stop guessing. You stop chasing generic advice, and you start giving people something far more powerful: a reason to believe. Because employers don't hire certainty, they hire the person who gives them the most confidence that they'll succeed. Maybe that person has been you all along. You just hadn't learned how to show it. If this video added value, I'd really appreciate your support. Leave a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Career Academy for more practical career guidance. I'll see you in the next one.